I'm here with David McLaren, GM of Portstewart Golf Club. Thank you very much for having us here. It's such a special venue, and you can see that from the picture.
It is, and it's one of the most special things about being here is that with a lot of our visitors, they're visiting Portstewart Golf Club for the first time. So to literally watch them walk up that pathway up to the first tee and to see their reaction, it's one of those things that I think makes it a very special place and makes it worthwhile both working here and for our members being members here, just to receive that feedback.
The stunning first tee shot, you feel like you're at the end of an aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
Keep going back to that. This is sheer drop, beautiful scenery, just looking out towards the dunes, and you can't even see the green almost. It's just everything's just submerged in these massive dunes.
The dunes are mountainous, even compared to other courses we've seen here, Royal Portrush. The dunes are enormous. For me, the tee shots are just very visually intimidating because you can see these massive dunes that if you hit it in, you're gone.
Going through these mountainous dunes is so memorable. When holes are framed like this, it really does make a difference.
I lost the ball on both the first tee and the second tee, and I do think for a higher handicap player, this is actually in some ways a more difficult course than anything we've seen so far.
We've got this wonderful up and down short par 4 that I think anyone would find it difficult to not fall in love with. Tiny little pinch green, but it was only 4 iron a wedge, but it's not easy.
Oh, that's not run out.
No, the story of Des Giffen's involvement in the creation of what today's Strand course is quite extraordinary. And I'm not the best qualified person to talk about it, having only been here for a short time. But in the mid 1980s, Des, along with the then course manager Bernard Finlay, sort of almost single-handedly between the two of them, so 4 sets of hands and I think maybe 1 digger, shaped the holes that are now holes 2 to 8. And yes, you could say that is some of the world's greatest golf links land, but you've still got to create golf holes that are playable and are memorable as golf holes, as opposed to just somewhere that's part of a lunar landscape.
Oh, pulled it. Get right. Where am I aiming?
Well, your line would be this mound on the right-hand side, possibly, with a bit of draw.
Just try and take over that.
Try and take it over that, but it could be a long way in this wind. Or cut.
My favourite hole is the 6th, but I think one of the reasons why I and others love it, or I think what exemplifies that fact, is that last year we decided that we would rename the 6th as Giffen's in honour of its designer, Des Giffen. And it felt like that was the right hole to bestow that honour on, and it's just this, visually it's stunning, but because you're playing from a tee to a green that is sort of set on a shelf, it's also a terrifying golf hole. And yes, you've got all of the wonderful links duneland around it, but as a golf hole, I hit a 7-wood there at the weekend, 128 yards. So it goes from a lob wedge to a 7-wood, all in the space of a couple of weeks.
My favourite set of 2 holes might be 8 and 9. Really fun 2 par 4s that are just a bit different. May not be the best architecturally, but they are just golf holes that they're pretty straightforward, but you can be safe with them, and you can attack them. They're just fun holes.
350 yard 9th here at Portstewart. As you can see, there's not a huge amount of room, and I'm not going to lie to you. There's a huge wind behind, so let's just try and pump at the flag and hope for the best.
Creepy. Get up.
Oh no!
Mate, that was close.
So there's this legendary story that you can talk about the Strand course, say whatever you want here, and everyone's very open. But the one thing they won't have you do is slag off the Guinness in the halfway house.
I tell you what, in that weather, you kind of need this in the halfway,
Yeah.
don't you?
Split the G.
But it is a fantastic routing, and through those dunes, they're so massive, but yet you feel like you're in between them constantly. You're never having to mount them. It's very cool.
A test in the wind as well, but it's...
Especially when you're down in the dunes, you never really know what the wind's doing. You know that it's tough and up there, but you never really know how strong, what you're thinking. The Strand has obviously got these, it's so dramatic to start off with. The front nine is so dramatic that once it becomes slightly flatter, it's not flat ground out there in the back nine. Everyone calls it flat ground, but it's not that flat.
Yes.
And
You get it, yeah.
it's a shame that it does mentally alter people's opinion of the golf course.
Yes, and I think, going back to our earlier point, if this is a golf course, that what we're trying to do here really is to improve the back nine visually, so that the holes that have always been and will be part of the back nine get the credit that they deserve.
You've done your changes on 13 and 14. So 13's becoming a...
13 is the transformation of a reasonably straightforward par 5 into what I think the members now, by common consent, can see is going to be a majestic par 5. So we've extended it, and we've created duneland around the green. Now this is all on, where the new 13th green was is an area where the 14th tees used to be. So we're not encroaching into land. The 14th sort of reverts to how it used to be. So we're turning it from a dogleg par 5, which obviously was 2 par 5s in succession, to a beautiful straight testing par 4 again. Better framed on both sides of the hole and at the green as well.
What I do love about this place is the fact that you can see that the membership is very open to change, and that because they've taken note that their back nine wasn't as good as their front nine, but how do they get that to work better? And that's what they've achieved, and they're working hard to get more and more appreciation for that.
So yes, it's a special place, and I feel as an imposter Englishman that I can say those sorts of things with a little bit of objectivity. I've seen golf courses all over the world, and this is a very, very special place.